Remember the Tower of Terror at Dreamworld? This iconic Australian roller coaster was once the tallest and fastest roller coaster anywhere in the world. It was one of only two of its kind ever built, and it holds a special place in the hearts of Australian theme park enthusiasts. But what if I told you there was another? What if I told you that a man with a vision once visited Dreamworld and was so inspired by what he saw that he simply had to try to replicate the Tower of Terror all by himself? Don't believe me? Welcome to the Maloney's Coasters roller coaster channel, where we explore the most historic, the most bizarre, and the most fascinating of the roller coaster world. Click that subscribe button down below and get ready for a wild ride through history, because today we're talking about the homemade roller coasters of Thailand's Pattaya Park. Thailand is not typically a country that you'd associate with roller coasters, and especially not roller coaster manufacturing. So how did it come to be that a man from Thailand attempted to build one of the world's tallest and fastest roller coasters? Our story begins in Pattaya City in eastern Thailand. Pattaya City was a rapidly growing economic hub in Thailand. It started as a fishing village until the 1960s, when a huge tourist boom began to drive the city's economy. That boom would hit a huge peak during the Vietnam War. American Air Force troops were stationed nearby at U Tapao, and Pattaya was the closest destination for them to spend their rest and relaxation time when not on duty. This sudden influx of Western tourists drove the Pattaya tourist industry sky high, and most notably, it developed a very prominent sex and adult entertainment industry. The central walking street of Pattaya became quickly notorious for host bars, go-go bars, massage parlors, saunas, and hourly hotels, all of which opened up to serve American servicemen looking to unwind. When the Vietnam War ended, the Thai government made a commitment to attempt to clean up the image of Pattaya. While locals were happy that the tourism boom had contributed to rapid growth in the local economy, they were not pleased that Pattaya had become essentially known as Thailand's brothel. The issue sparked a lot of anger in the press and from politicians, particularly over international coverage of the prominence of sex work in Pattaya. To solve this matter of image, the local area and the government began to encourage tourist developments with a more family-friendly focus. One of the areas of the city that began to develop rapidly thanks to this focus was the area around Phra Tam Nak Hill to the south of Pattaya's walking street. The hill itself is the highest point in Pattaya and is regarded as far more culturally significant and naturally beautiful, with a golden Buddha statue and being surrounded by some of Pattaya's most pristine beaches. These beaches would become the centerpiece of some of the more family-friendly tourist developments. Which brings us to our story. In the 1990s, in the midst of a rush for hotels, resorts, and attractions that would cater to tourists and help to clean up Pattaya's image, an entrepreneur named Dang Therd Kiet opened the Pattaya Park Beach Resort, right on Dong Tan Beach, just to the south of Phra Tam Nak Hill. Benefiting from those beautiful, much less crowded and more untouched beaches to the south of the city and walking street, this resort was certainly more focused on attracting families and tourists. With a total of 718 rooms, an observation tower, and a water park, this was said to be one of Pattaya's premier accommodation and resort destinations, and its success was immediate, prompting Mr. Therd Kiet to consider adding further attractions to his resort for his guests to utilize. In 1998, Therd Kiet would visit Dreamworld on the Gold Coast during a holiday to Australia. It was there that he would witness the park's brand new signature attraction, the Tower of Terror, a record-breaking Intamin reverse freefall coaster that had been the tallest and fastest roller coaster in the world when it opened a year earlier. This ride captured Therd Kiet's imagination, and he was also thoroughly impressed with the park as a whole. While we don't know for sure if he thought of the idea before, it seems that this visit may have inspired him on what exactly to add to his resort. Dang Therd Kiet was going to build his very own amusement park. The signature attractions of Pattaya Park were going to be two roller coasters, one family thrill coaster, and one more extreme ride. But interestingly, Therd Kiet didn't begin contacting manufacturers and asking for quotes on prices. Instead, he decided that he would build his coasters in-house himself, despite having no prior engineering experience. Beginning in the year 1999, design and construction began on the two roller coasters of Pattaya Park. Before I tell you about those coasters, I'd like to give a quick thank you to these channel members who make all of this content possible. If you'd like to support the channel and get early access to every video, exclusive content every week, and a members-only Discord chat with other enthusiasts, click the join button down below. The first of the Pattaya Park coasters, and the only one of Turd-Keat's coaster designs that operates today, is known as Slalom. Slalom is a family thrill coaster design somewhat inspired by a Wild Mouse roller coaster. Perhaps it was inspired by the Eureka Mountain Mine ride if Turd-Keat's visit to Dreamworld is anything to go by. The ride features a single car that can seat 4 riders and a layout focused on sharp hairpin turns and small airtime hills. However, Turd-Keat's design inexperience also led to the ride having some unique design quirks. Notably, the ride features a spiral lift hill with no anti-rollback mechanisms and some particularly bizarre banking through the layout. Despite these quirks, Slalom is said to be a unique and often fun ride, and it was certainly a successful start to Turd-Keat's coaster designing career. Unfortunately, his second coaster for the park would not go as well. Directly inspired by Dreamworld's Tower of Terror, Turd-Keat attempted to build a ride named Formula 1, a direct copy of Intamin's reverse freefall coaster design that would stand 60 meters tall. This would have placed it among the top 20 tallest roller coasters in the world at the time of its construction in 1999. However, Turd-Keat would quickly realize that his attempts to copy one of the newest and most advanced coaster models on the market would face a few hurdles. The first being the launch system. Intamin's reverse freefall coaster uses a magnetic LSM launch to take the ride vehicles up to their top speed of 161 km an hour or 100 miles per hour. This technology was brand new at the time. In fact, the reverse freefalls were among the first coasters ever to feature magnetic launch technology, and were the very first to feature the innovative new linear synchronous motor or LSM. Turd-Keat did not have the knowledge or resources to be able to replicate this advanced technology, so he had to improvise a method to launch his ride vehicle. Ultimately, he settled on a launch powered by compressed air. This coaster would have become the first air-launched roller coaster in history, predating the S&S coaster Hypersonic XLC by 2 years. However, this coaster and the park as a whole would quickly run into technical issues and be significantly delayed. Allegedly, during its initial test runs, Formula 1 never made it off the horizontal launch track and the ride vehicle never ascended the tower. This was due to early signs of fault and fatigue in the improvised launch system that needed troubleshooting. And that was just the beginning of the ride's problems. The forces exerted by the launch itself, as well as the ascent up the tower, presented serious safety issues due to the intensity and suddenness of their forces. No human riders would ever board Formula 1. After attempting to resolve the ride's issues, the project was abandoned, and the park opened in 2002 with only Slalom in operation. Formula 1 would remain standing until the launch track was removed in 2013, with the station being converted into a viewing platform. The tower still remains standing to this day as well. Today, Pattaya Park is home to a selection of small rides from Zamperla, as well as a number of other rides that are also speculated to be in-house designs from Dang Turd-Keat. In fact, his passion for designing rides and roller coasters was far from over with the completion of Pattaya Park, even after the discouragement of seeing Formula 1 fail to open to the public. In 2008, Turd-Keat would design 2 roller coasters to be installed at the Wonderworld Extreme Park in Bangkok. These 2 rides would feature the same ride system as Slalom, but would duel alongside each other. They also appear to have featured launch tracks, perhaps intending to utilize a new and improved version of Formula 1's compressed air launch. The 2 coasters were named Slalom, in tribute to the original Turd-Keat coaster, and Tornado. These 2 coasters featured tangled layouts that twisted around one another and traveled through a centerless Ferris wheel, as well as having identical color schemes that meant they were often confused for being the same ride. They began operation in 2008. However, during the monsoon season of 2011, Thailand suffered severe flooding. Beginning at the end of July that year, triggered by the landfall of tropical storm Nokten, the floods spread throughout the provinces of Thailand and inundated parts of Bangkok, with both the Mekong and Chao Phraya river basins suffering extreme flooding, with over $46.5 billion in damages being done across the country. Among those damages was Wonderworld Extreme Park, which was completely inundated by floodwaters, resulting in the park closing down due to the damages. Both Slalom and Tornado have not operated since. Today, the abandoned site of Wonderworld Extreme Park is still occasionally accessible, as the grounds have played host to events such as concerts, shows, and festivals. The 2 coasters still stand, with their structures virtually complete, but have not operated since 2011. Which leaves the last remnant of Dang Turd-Keat's legacy as a coaster designer being the original, Slalom at Pattaya Park. A According to my amazing colleague in the YouTube game, Roller Coasters of Thailand, the ride has some punchy drops and fun moments, and is certainly Thailand's most unique and strangest credit. So if you ever find yourself traveling through Southeast Asia, Pattaya Park certainly has to be on your roller coaster bucket list. Currently, Slalom is listed among just 15 operating roller coasters on RCDB that are officially classified as having been built in-house. Can you name any others that you'd like me to explore in a future video? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this content, I'd really appreciate it if you could click the like button to let the YouTube algorithm know that you enjoyed it. I'd also really appreciate it if you could subscribe. Over 90% of my viewers are not subscribed. It's a quick, free, and simple way to help the channel out, so I'd really appreciate you clicking that button. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.